Welcome to the second part of video 5.4. We're still talking about compound inequalities, but this time we're going to talk about the union of compound inequalities. So in the last video, let me flip back for a second, we talked about the intersection. So these are inequalities that are joined together using the word and. So this time, the union talks about inequalities that are joined together using the word or. All right, so let's just recall here really quick. A compound inequality is an inequality that's made up of two other inequalities. And then the graph of a compound inequality that contains the conjunction or is called the union of the graphs. All right, so let's jump right in and look at an example here. So we have two separate inequalities that we need to solve first, and then we'll graph them and see what the graph looks like. So let me rewrite the two inequalities. We have 2a plus 3 is greater than 11, and the other one is a is greater than 3a plus 2. All right. So in this first one, we need to subtract 3, and we have 2a equals 8. And divide by 2, and we have a, not equals, oops, we have a is greater than 4. All right, and in the other one, we need to, first and foremost, get all of our variables together on one side, because right now we have a variable on the left and a variable on the right. So let's subtract this 3a and move it over here with the other variable. We have 1 minus 3 is going to be negative 2a greater than 2. And when we divide by, oh, look, we're dividing by a negative. So we have to flip the sign. A is less than negative 1. All right, now let's see what this graph is going to look like. We need to graph this solution and this solution. So at 4, we're going to have an open circle. And we need all the numbers greater than 4. So we're going to go in that direction. And in the other one, we've got a is less than negative 1. So here's negative 1. Once again, an open circle. And all the numbers less than negative 1 are going to go in this direction. So now do you see the difference between the graphs when you're talking about intersection and union? When we're talking and, or rather intersection, we graph all of the solutions between the 2 points, right? But when we're talking union, or rather or, we end up graphing all the numbers going in the opposite direction, not between them. Okay. So those are the two major differences between union and intersection. Okay. So let's do a couple examples. It looks like I gave you 8 of them. I'll do as many as I can in the time span of our video. All right. So number 33, we've got two inequalities that we need to solve for separately. So negative 9r plus 2 is greater than or equal to 74. And then we've got 5r minus 10 is greater than negative 30. All right. So let's solve them one at a time. I'll start with this one. We need to subtract 2. Negative 9r is greater than or equal to 72. So let's divide by negative 9 and oh my gosh. And oh, wait a second. We're dividing by a negative. So r is less than or equal to, flip the sign, negative 8. Okay. Let's solve the other one. We've got to add 10, and we get 5r is greater than negative 20. Divide by 5, dividing by a positive, so no need to flip the sign. R is greater than negative 4. Okay, so we've got our two solutions here. Let's graph them and see what happens. So we've got a closed circle at negative 8. So that'll be here. And an open circle at negative 4. And for negative 8, we need all the numbers less than, so that's in this direction. And for negative 4, all the numbers greater than, so that's in this direction. All right, looks like the example we did up top. Perfect. All right, let's move over to 34. In number 34, we're going to go ahead and do what we did last time. Let's write the two inequalities separately. It's greater than negative 30. And then we've got 3n plus 7 is less than negative 11. I'm going to have you pause the video right now. I want you to solve both of these inequalities. Don't move on to graphing yet, though. Just solve them, and when you're done, resume the video and see how you did. Okay, how did you do? Did you get the same answers? Hope you did. All right, let's move on to graphing. Let's do this together. We have an open circle at negative 4 and an open circle at negative 6. For negative 4, we need to go in the go to the right because we want all the numbers greater than. And for negative 6, we need to go to the left because we want all the numbers that are less than. Looks good. All right. Let's go on down to 35. All right, this time I'm going to completely let you do number 35 on your own. So I want you to solve the two inequalities and try to graph it on your own. So resume the video when you think you've got it. Check your work against mine. Okay, how do you think you did? If your graph came out unlike mine for negative 8, so if you had your arrow pointing to the right, it's probably because you didn't flip the sign. In your math to solve for this inequality, when we divide by that negative 7, you should have flipped your sign. So pay close attention. If you did everything right, you should have a graph that looks like mine. All right. Okay, I'm going to do 36 and then I'm going to end it there and let you finish the 4 on the back. So here we go for number 36. If you need to see another example and you're not sure and you want to watch me work through it, you can keep watching. If you think you know what you're doing, you can pause the video or fast forward through it, try it on your own, and then just check your work at the end. All right? So at this point, I'm going to leave it up to you. So we have 4 minus 5a less than or equal to negative 46. And then we have 2a minus 9 less than or equal to negative 21. All right. So here, this is a little bit weird for us because we're used to the variable being first. That didn't happen this time, but that's okay. You're just going to do the same thing. You need to move the constant to the side and then divide by your coefficient. So we have a positive 4. How do we know it's positive? Because there's no sign in front of it. All right. So we've got to subtract that 4. Negative 5a is less than or equal to negative 50. Divide by negative 5. Oh, we're dividing by a negative, so flip that sign. A is greater than or equal to 10. The other one, add 9. We have 2a less than or equal to negative 12. Divide by 2. 2 is positive, so don't flip your sign. A is less than or equal to negative 6. All right. So let's graph these two solutions. We've got greater than or equal to 10, so close circle at 10. Where's 10? Here's 8, 10, 12. Okay, so 10 is here, closed circle. And all the numbers greater than, so going to the right. And then here, negative 6, closed circle again, so it's going to be here between negative 8 and negative 4. And we need all the numbers less than, so that's going here to the left. All right. We're going to work on some more of these in class, but for now, I need you to finish the other 4 that are here on the back. Do your best. We'll go over them in class. Don't forget the summary questions. Have a good night, guys. See you tomorrow.